So I've already done the outlook today. And this is what I'm looking for. It should be on here. Great. 2 seconds. I think it should be on this. Did not save. Oh, well, it's on this one. Well, in short. Ah, it is. Normal now. Okay. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a retrace to this region. As of here, if it came down, we'd obviously adjust the fib, and then we'd be looking for about here. But yeah, we're looking for a push to about here, then a nice 1 hour bar close. We're looking for a nice 1 hour bar close based on the 2 hour, the 3 hour, yeah. But we are bearish based on. Start on the weekly. Actually, what's the 2 week looking like? Okay. So may as well get rid of this. Okay. Right. So here we see that we are quite overextended based on how many consecutive bars in a row, consecutive time periods running. Market participants are seen to participate in the same fashion, consistently, repetitively, with many more than what they had done so to the upside here before. Market participants then started to trade in the fashion that showed signs of reversing, which then confirmed here, and then this push to the upside was done. And then whatever happens from here is subject to however market participants trade like, and we see that they were willing to continue selling from this weekly time period and just facilitate a weekly in-play push. For all we know, it could have pushed here and it could have started to push here, contingent upon however traders trade like, but they didn't trade in that way. So it just flow with however they're trading like, flow with the facts. And the way that the intent to trade has contributed to the structure of this push, up to now, we see that it is trading below the previous atom push range low, over with a healthy candle quantity push to the downside, meaning like a lot of consecutive time periods, more than the previous atom push was, more than what is contained within the previous atom push. And yeah, so it's overextended basically, but it's still set up. It can still be overextended and set up poised to keep pushing, which it is. The trajectory of this push does not look done. And based on this, it's likely to push to about here. At least the intent to trade, based on the most recent bar close specifically, it's likely to push to around there. Yeah, about. Yeah, there exactly. So like basically that's where intent to trade is poised to remain bearish till likely anyway, based on the way the most recent, based on the way market participants traded like and agreed upon trading with the prices what were available as of the most recent weekly time period, and we see how they were willing to agree upon those prices the market was trading at after participants have already participated in the way they have, which is selling for many time periods already up to now. So it's like participants still on tired of selling, and it's just likely to continue. And as of the facts, looking at the facts, the push ain't set up in the fashion that looks done. So it would have to, traders would have to trade in the fashion that would set up the push as being done, and it's not the case. So yeah, the 4-day So this is just the weekly target. The 4-day bar on this chart perspective does close that month on Monday, and same thing. It's overextended. You just see the weekly push, well, the weekly chart, but a bit more granularly, and it's just likely to keep pushing to the downside. This push doesn't look done. The 2-day, you see a bit more granular structure. You know, you got this like low, high, low, high, and then this in play out and push. It doesn't look done. This looks good to keep pushing it about here, in fact. And then the daily, the daily also looks good to keep pushing to the downside. So you see here that we'll push to the downside, push to the upside, and it pushed lower, and then traders traded in the fashion here that set this push to upside done. Same here, and then you just get the gist, and it's just like you keep pushing lower until the trajectory of the push is set up in a fashion that says otherwise. Basically, which would suggest that it would be near, because if you look at how many bars there's been pushing to how many time periods consecutively participants have been trading to the downside in, or like, yeah, in compared to the push to the upside, like it's the intent is overextended, right? So it would make sense to start to see signs soon that would suggest like maybe it's a reversal, but like, you know, you've got the monthly bearish, the weekly's also bearish, obviously, at least up to this point, and then after that it's kind of a bit unknown to some degree of how participants will trade, like, because it's kind of in unknown price territory. Unknown price territory, I'm just referring to, like, you don't really know how they're going to perceive the worthiness and be willing, and you don't really know what their interest is going to be to trade with the prices at those regions. Neither do you here, really, but you do have some sort of insight based on the most recent weekly bar close over the next weekly bar, and then up to this point, at least, based on the structure of the weekly in-play and push 2, but specifically the way the participants traded, like, amongst the situated location of the most recent bar close, and where it's like placed within the weekly in-play and push, which is at the very lows of an overextended push, but the trajectory is not extended out, like fully expanded out, and it's not even arcing yet, it's just pushing. So yeah, you don't want to go against that and think, oh, it's gonna reverse. Like, nah, just because it's below this low, it means nothing. It's all about how the in-play and push is set up, literally. So same again here, you kind of got a bit of an ensuing push. So like here, push to the downside, and yeah, this is the most recent 12-hour bar close, and we see the intent to trade over the most recent 12-hour bar close, and where that's situated, like the contextual position of this bar amongst the in-play and push. It's at the very lows, but like how a participants traded with the prices at this region, like, and contributed to the further structure of this push. It's still off the salt that's likely to continue lower, to at least this point, at least too. It's probably going to go a bit lower too, but yeah, 9-hour, very nice push to the downside. It is overextended though, for sure. Like, for example, this is what I mean. So I'll just start marking from, I'll just start marking from here, you may as well. So whenever I'm marking like a low and a high, that's, I'll just say it, so you get the context. So I don't think, fucking hell, don't think I've got 9 hours. I'm gonna have to bloody make them 9, bloody hell, I should have this by now. I have literally been trading this thing since bloody June. What the fuck? I'll just keep them blue, who cares? 9 hour. Right. I do look at the 9 hour if I'm looking at the CFD. So yeah, so this push became done as of this most recent. Actually, no, it was a bit iffy because look how bearish it came to the downside. So even after this bar close, yeah, it's a nice bar close to suggest that participants' intent to trade with the prices in this region may be done, but it's more or less signs. And then here in this bar, when you see it push to the upside, that's when you know that this bar was actually a signal. It is after the fact, of course, but this actually bar was a signal of this push being done based on how traders trade like. But then as of this most recent bar close, this push to the upside becomes done again, and it keeps pushing to the downside, and it becomes done here. And then so signs start to unravel here. Signs just refers to like when the push pushes over as many time periods as what the previous input and push pushed over, and then before participants start to trade in the fashion that set the push up as done. Or that can also be applicable to price coverage. So like if in this bar it just pushed up to here, well that's pushed way more the price, just a bit more prices than what this push to the downside pushed to the downside over, right? But this, it also pushed over as many prices and more, and over as many time periods, so that intent to trade and interest is overextended relative to here. So it would make sense to start to see signs where this push would start to become done, which also coincides with being above the previous set and push range high, which is always a good place for the push to set up as come and done. Anyway, signs started to unfold, it became valid here. I'm just gonna, and so you get the gist. I'm just gonna whiz through it because I don't have all the time in the day, and also, as I was saying the other day, I missed a trade once through hang on, yeah, I've missed a trade once by rambling on or like typing like about how the chart is set up, because I get really into it. So yeah, look how overextended the 9 hour is, but it's still nice for bearish. Yeah, same case for the 4 hour. Yeah. So the 4 hours set up nice. So as well, I guess as soon as it's the weekly, I'm just thinking, like, because I know that I use that like monthly, 2 week, weekly, 4-3-2 day strategy. So if you because like this is the weekly post like intent to trade, where the intent to trade relative to the weekly is likely to remain bearish till at least, based on the interest and intent participants exhibited within the most recent weekly bar close, and where it was situated amongst its in player and push, and how therefore the way they trade like in the most recent bar close contributed to the further structure of that in player and push, and how its trajectory was just likely to keep pushing lower. So yeah, like if you were using the weekly, you're kind of missing out 2 time frames. So then the weekly, this would be like your 2 week, and then half that again. Oh my god. Great. There we go. I don't really know how I do it, not gonna lie, because like half a 7 is the closest you could get to is 3, and then half a 3 is 1.5. So you'd probably just have to do weekly, 3-day, daily, and then 12. Yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare that, like, isn't it? And then 9-8, and then possibly 4 something, and then drop straight to 1. I'm not sure, but that's basically our strategy anyway. So yeah, because like what we're doing now, I mean, we don't like for the standard strategy, we're not like, we don't, like, if it reaches this line, we're done. No, we'll still trade. It's all based on how the at-hand pushes are in play as of European and modern trading session are all set up as of 7, and then what the price direction is likely to prevail over European and modern trading session. So anyway, yeah, the 4 hours bearish, and all time frames up to now are bearish, and then the 3 hours shows signs that relative to the intent to trade, it could be waning a little bit to participants wanting to keep trading to the downside. Same with the same with the 2 hour. So this was the most recent bar close to 7, and yeah, it looks good to push to about here, not gonna lie, at least. But then when you got the 12 hour setup so bearish, the daily, the 4-day, the weekly, you know, like, you want to go with the best. This is just signs that, like, intent to trade as of now, maybe like, just not so willing to continue to sell off the bat, right? So that's all that is. Yeah, so god, my legs are so fucking itchy. Right, so yeah, we're looking for a nice 1 hour bar close here, and it's the same case with GU, same exact case. So I'm not gonna do all the funky analysis. I'm not even gonna emulate real-time conditions, just emulate it in your head like I do all the time. So in fact, no, whatever, yeah, I will emulate real-time conditions. It takes 2 seconds. So yeah, look at the 4-day. The 4-day in play and push does not look done. It looks good to keep pushing to around this region at least. Anyway, well, this is the weekly, in fact, even better. 4-day looks good to keep pushing lower. No signs of being done. 2-day, same exact thing. Let me just check if that's the, yeah, it is. This is even more bearish. So yeah, you got this type of structure going on. I did say I wasn't going to do it, but I kind of just want to mark it. I just like to. 2-day. Yeah, this, I would mark this up as this push being done based on how many bars it took to push to the downside, over being about the same as this push to the upside, and how it traded beneath previous at and push range low, with a healthy counter quantity price coverage push to the downside, and then participants starting to show signs that they weren't willing to trade with them in the bearish fashion anymore, and then that immediately changed. Blah 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 blah. This is just signs. It became valid as of this bar, and then here this push to the upside became done. So yeah, push to the upside became done. Likely to keep pushing, and then as of this most recent bar close, it's likely to keep pushing, and then here it's kind of signs. And then when this bar pushes a bit higher, it's like, yeah, okay, this push to the downside's done. But then that quickly changes again, presumably because of the 2-week and the weekly bias from last week, and also the monthly chart. It's just bearish. I'm pretty sure the monthly on GU and EU target, aka the intent, the price region that intent to trade is likely to remain bearish still, based on the most recent monthly bar close, the interest and intent exhibited over that time period, and how it contributed to the formation of that monthly bar, and its situated placement within its push, its trend in play. I think the target has been hit. No, I don't think. I know it has. I remember, because I don't have it on my chart anymore. But yeah, anyway, 2 days likely to keep pushing bearish. The daily is also likely to keep pushing bearish, although it is overextended. Look how many bars has pushed to the upside over before participants started to trade in the fashion that they were no longer willing to trade in that consecutive, consistent, repetitive fashion, compared to how many bars this push has. It is overextended, but look at the trajectory. Look at the strength of intent and interest and intent to trade over each bar. There's no signs that set up this push as being done, so it's likely to just keep pushing. Same with the 12 hour, it's just likely to keep pushing, dropping down again. 9 hour likely to keep pushing, 8 likely to keep pushing, 4 hour, let me just check if I'm on the right bar. Yes, likely to keep pushing. Blah 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 blah. 3 hour, kind of bearish still, based on the context of higher time frames. 2 hour. Remember, the 2 hour time frame is mainly utilized for just context of how we will need to look at how at however the 1 hour situation at hand is set up, like to look for however the 1 hour chart, to look for whatever the most appropriate scenario would be, to see the 1 hour chart perspective set up, like to get on board with the post direction poised to prevail over European and modern trading session. And in this case, yeah, it is a bit iffy considering how overextended this push is relative to the previous hand push, which is this push here. So this push to the downside became done as of this most recent bar close, and then this push to the upside became done as of this most recent bar close, so as of here. But to be fair, when you're seeing this bar wake up, and I think this was NFP, and it just shoots lower, I'd say, yeah, okay, this push is done. Actually, no, to be fair, no, because it's NFP, it could just literally reverse. So no, yeah, and then it would be still in play. But no, as of this most recent bar close, yeah, it's done, and it's just likely to keep pushing lower as of this most recent bar close, to be honest. It's showing signs relative to 2 hour and 10, but you must also remember to keep in mind the context of the given day. What, like, relative to how high a time frame intent to trade is poised to prevail as of the most recent bar close, right? So, like, you don't want to just like use one time frame because you'll end up in the shit, literally. So yeah, I'm gonna look for this region, not here. To be fair, it depends. Actually, let's have a look at how this thing looks like on the 15-minute. Well, to be fair, it is pretty darn bearish, so yeah, it doesn't really matter. For the what would this thing to be say for the case of 2 pips, for the sake I think I said that the complete wrong way around. Anyway, yeah, for the sake of 2 pips or something. Yeah, so that's what we're looking for, and then obviously we also do look at the futures time frame chart perspective. Of course, this isn't a futures chart, but it just has the same time. Like, for example, the 8 hour bar closed at 7 on this chart, which is the same as the futures. Hang on. Oh, one sec. Yeah, no, this is Oanda. So 2 seconds. So yeah, this bar closes at 7, sorry. So yeah, pretty simple. Oh, and the 2 week. This is the 2 week. I'm pretty sure. Post intent to trade thingy location thing. And yeah, pushed here. I can't remember what we're looking for here, but there's probably an entry somewhere here for the higher time frame strategy thing. But yeah, I'm gonna get rid of these. I'm gonna keep. I don't know what these things are for, so I'll just delete them. Don't know what that's there for really. I'll just delete it. But I like to keep this just for now. But I don't even think it's on the lower time frame. So, but yeah, I may as well just drop to the 1 hour. And yeah, we've actually still got some things. But yeah, I guess as well, whilst I'm, in fact, no, I'm going to lock in this video just so I've got it because it's pretty darn good.